Bob says, Sills, explain something for me. How do you justify having the Eagles make a big run into the playoffs when you clearly have major doubts about Hurts? Same way I did when you won the Super Bowl in 17. I had major concerns about your backup quarterback being able to pick up for Carson Wentz, and he ended up coming through. You won with a marginal quarterback who played great. You have a marginal quarterback now with a lot of great talent. And once again, I said this yesterday. I think your improvement is not so much on your offensive side. I think your improvement has been on your defensive side. That's how. I think Jalen Hurts is going to improve enough to make this team look very good this year. I do. Okay? I think there's going to be games where he's going to struggle against big-time passing football teams. Oh. Good afternoon, Big Sills, National Football Show. Hang on for a minute. Hang on. I usually do this at the end of the show. I got to take this call. Okay? Hang on for a minute. Yeah, I got about 10 seconds, but I'm actually doing the show live right now, the National Football Show. Hang on, Tyler. Hang on, Tyler, for a second. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button, okay? I appreciate everybody coming aboard. Hang on for a second, Tyler. Hit the like button. I'm going to be right with you. Brandon Graham said he was watching Merritt. Okay, listen. Yes, Brandon Graham was on our network. He was a show called Sports Take. And he said that Jalen was throwing dimes. Easy. I know you want to be an Eagle. Don't look. This thing's going to take 7 games. Don't worry. I got you. Let me call you after the show, okay? All right. Yeah, tell Mario Cristobal he said hi. All right. Yeah, listen, I got you. We're Connecticut guys. We're UM brothers. All right. I'll talk to you later. All right, buddy. All right. Sorry, I had to take that because I'm in the process right now of setting the stage for a particular quarterback. Not going to say any names or anything, but what I'm doing right now is I'm helping the kid because the kid really wants to land at this one particular place. And so I'm here to help everybody. Okay? I'm here to help everybody. That's all I'm saying. Man, I hear Jalen today throwing dimes. Hey, man, I'm so jacked up. Let's see, where's that schedule? Don't worry, Tyler Van Dyke by week 8. I got you, brother. All right. Hey, man, I hope everybody's having a great day. By the way, hour number 3, former Eagle legend and current Arizona State Sun Devils head coach, Herm Edwards, will join us. We'll talk a little college. We'll talk a little Eagles football with him, too. Get his spin on the landscape of college football with our dear friend Herm Edwards. That will be in hour number 3. Before I get to my topics, and by the way, I hope you don't hold that against me, that I'm trying to help the Philadelphia Eagles. And by the way, to all at the NovaCare Center, hi. You can give Big Sills a call. Bob Lang has my number, because he's texted me a billion times. If you guys want to reach out and kind of bridge the gap and kind of get that conversation, you can send scouts down too. Just let me know. I'll set it up. I'm not his agent because I know that Drew Rosenhaus is. Oh, jeez. Did I just say that? Did I say that out loud? Jesus criminy. I'm so sorry. Okay? Maybe that's what we should do is get Drew Rosenhaus on the phone. Okay? Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus. Okay. Yeah. So we'll put all that together. I don't mean to throw out little innuendos here like I'm doing, but remember something. You guys asked me to find you a quarterback. Some of you think you have one. I'm here to actually get you one. Big arm, big dude, drop back quarterback, someone that looks like Joe Burrow. But hey, Jalen's throwing dimes. Dimes Jones, man, he's going to lose that tag to Jalen. Dimes Hurts. Yeah, baby. Can't wait. I'm just here to help, like I said. All right. Before I get into my topics here, I do want to state this here. And I do want to bring up something here on the Deshaun Watson front. I'm hearing people say the NFL, what happened yesterday, is going to say to both parties, defending and also the Tony Busby side of this, that no matter what happened yesterday with the settling of 20 of the 24 suits, that has no bearing on what type of discipline may happen to Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns quarterback. Funny, in the Washington Post today, another day of I'm not bashing anybody. Kyle, there's no bashing. Where did you get I was bashing Hurts? Wait, no. Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what. Hey, this is what I'll do, Kyle. If you don't want Tyler Van Dyke, I'll send him to the Giants or Washington if you want. Because he wants to play in the New England area. You just let me know. If you don't want Tyler Van Dyke, I guarantee you this year the Canes are going to win 10-plus games with that quarterback. And he's going to throw for about 35 touchdowns. And he's going to be in the conversation for the Heisman. That's all right. You don't want him? Giants do. And I'm very close to the New York Giants. You let me know. Okay? You just let me know. I'll call John Mara anytime you want. As a matter of fact, I've had John Mara on my show a few times. Probably should try to get him on again. Probably not in a good frame of mind, though, since they haven't really won in the last 10 years. Send him to Siberia. Get me Herbert. Bryce Young over both. I don't think so. I'll take Tyler at 6'5". Okay? Hang on here. Let me ask you this here. So before we get to our topics, so Daniel Snyder, it's being reported by the Washington Post, paid a seven-figure sum to a woman when it came to sexual harassment allegations against the owner of the Washington Commanders. 7 figures, and the National Football League did nothing. So $1 million+ was paid to a woman to keep her quiet. Confidentiality agreements were signed. This was in 2009. Where in your, and by the way, I had idiots on Twitter page at Dan Sileo show telling me this. Well, Deshaun had 24. One sexual case of harassment, assault is one too many. So you're telling me, well, this guy had 24 allegations. The owner of the Washington Commanders only had one. It's funny, though. The owner of the Washington Commanders paid over $1 million to this woman. So there must have been something to this because he settled. You can't have it both ways here. The National Football League did nothing to Daniel Snyder, and yet, you know what they did? They took emails between Bruce Allen, Daniel Snyder, and John Gruden, and had John Gruden fired from his job in Las Vegas because of his behavior and his comments that were made on company emails. And yet nothing was done to Daniel Snyder or the Commanders. Nothing. Guy still owns the team. How can you suspend Deshaun Watson? How can you rightfully suspend him? The NFL is going to come out and they're going to. But how do you not look at this hypocritically? Oh, it's their league. I see. So the owners can be scumbags. But the players have to live up to a different standard or a higher standard than the owners do. Gee, it sounds like our politicians in D.C., let alone the owner of the Washington Commanders in D.C. I see. Players are held to a different standard. The owners can be scumbags because they're billionaires, I'm assuming. The chaos in D.C. right now with that Washington Commanders team, I'll be shocked if that team goes on and does anything this year. How do you have that much chaos in a franchise? And if you're the other 31 owners, how in the world do you allow that man to own that team? It is time for him to have that team taken away from him the same way they took the team away from Jerry Richardson in Carolina. He has to have that team taken from him. He is a poor example of a human. He is a poor example of an owner in this league. He hurts the credibilities of other owners that are doing good things in communities and doing good things for their football teams. He hurts the shield. Daniel Snyder does more harm to the shield of the NFL than any player. Deshaun Watson, Adrian Peterson, OJ, because he's supposed to set the standard. These 32 owners of the league are here to set the standards of what the league represents. And what Daniel Snyder has done to the NFL is shameful. Roger Goodell looked shameful. Now Snyder is snubbing his nose with Congress. I'm not testifying. I'm not telling you shit. How do you allow that guy to continue to own a team and represent a league that's America's pastime? It's time to take the team away. What are you waiting for? What are they waiting for? Another nightmare situation? Between using the cheerleaders as hookers for advertisers, sexual misconduct, racism inside the organization. My God almighty, what else is this need for the commissioner and the other owners to vote this guy out of office? Impeach this guy. Take the team away. Give it to somebody who will make that city proud. Washington, D.C. My God almighty. It's crazy, man. Absolutely. On what goes on, you sit there and bang on a kid, or you bang on players every chance you get. Every chance you get. And so does the media. But when it comes to a guy like Snyder, nobody says shit to him. Because you know why? Media people are easily bought. Accessibility. People in Philly ain't talking shit on Howie Roseman or Jeffrey Lurie. They'll have their credentials taken from them. Same in Washington. How can you work? You see, it hurts your ability to make a living. These owners know it. So they take your press credential away. How can you cover a team without a press credential if you're a reporter? Can't. You just can't. Jim Irsay, too. Daz, he's another one. $35,000 on a seat next to him, open oxycodone pills and prescription pads, and nobody does anything. Oh, yeah, and it's always my favorite one. Well, they took the San Francisco 49ers away from Edward DeBartolo because he had some shady dealings with a riverboat casino guy in Louisiana and dealings with the governor. They took the team away from him. They took the team away from him, and he had to pass over ownership to his sister, Denise DeBartolo York. The Yorks own the team, even though the DeBartolos share in the profits of the 49ers, but he has no control, and he can't do anything to it. Eddie was trying to cut a deal in Louisiana. They took the team from him. What are we waiting for here? Makes no sense. All right, let's move on here from that scumbag. Please hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming aboard with us here. Thank you so much. All right. I wrote something down here. By the way, I've got this. You know I'm a guy on list. My top 10 offensive tackles in the National Football League, we're going to get to. Our top tight ends in the National Football League. But I want to start it out with this. This is not bashing Jalen. This is not. Okay? I'm burying the lead here. This is not bashing Jalen. What NFC East wide receiver will have the best year this year? I wrote down these names. I really don't know who's in New York. Sterling Shepard. Okay. I mean, right? Sterling Shepard, I'm assuming. Washington. Terry McLaurin. Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb. Or the Eagles. A.J. Brown. Who will have the most productive season for wide receivers in the NFC East? You tell me. Flex says Smith. I'm assuming Devonta. So you think Devonta is going to have more receiving yards than A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, and I'm going to throw Sterling Sharp in there. Smith. Why don't you get Hurts on your page? Disrespect them all. I'm not disrespecting. I'm talking about wide receivers in the NFC East. McLaurin and Lamb is a safe bet. Green. I think Smith will actually outperform Brown. So you think Smith and Brown are going to be the top receiving numbers in the NFC East? A.J. Brown in 3 years has averaged 68 catches for 998 yards and 8 touchdowns. Last year, almost identical was Devonta Smith. Actually, when I look at Dallas Goedert, I didn't realize Dallas Goedert had that good a year last year. I was kind of shocked, actually. Who do you think? Lamb is going to have 1 million targets. I think Green. What Green? What Green are you talking about? Lamb due to quarterback targets. Won't surprise me if McLaurin from Washington was number 2. Have you seen Washington's O-line? Smitty, because AJ will get all the attention. So I would say this to you. I say CeeDee Lamb. Okay? Let's see this. Let's see this for a second here. CeeDee Lamb stats. Okay. CeeDee Lamb stats. Here we go. Let's see what CeeDee did last year. CeeDee had 79 catches for 1106 and 6 touchdowns. Okay. Terry McLaurin stats. He had 1053, 5 touchdowns, and 77. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, there's no Amari Cooper in Dallas anymore. I'm saying that CeeDee Lamb will have more targets, and I think he's going to be a 1,300-yard guy. I think with the addition of Carson Wentz, I think you're going to see 1,300 yards there. I don't know what they're going to do in New York. I mean, seriously, I don't know. Sterling Sharp. Shepard, excuse me. I don't know. A.J. Brown, What are you expecting A.J. Brown this year to have? Knowing that he's averaged 1,000 yards. He's at $29.95 over 3 years. I don't know. CeeDee Lamb going to have number ones on him. Oh, good point, Flex. That's a good point. CeeDee Lamb now is going to have number one corners on him now. And they're going to trail him everywhere he goes on the field. Okay? Let's see. Tony in New York. With who throwing him the ball? Dimes Jones? Boy, I think this. I think Terry McLaurin is going to have the best year of any wide receiver in the NFC East this year. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to have the second best. I think A.J. Brown will have the third best. And I'm going to do this. Okay? I'm going to do this. I think the Eagles will have the best duo. Okay? I think they'll have the best duo of wideouts in the NFC East. Is that fair? Like, Devontae will probably be fourth. Is this fair? Chris, I really don't know anything. I mean, I don't, from what I looked at with the stats of the Giants, I didn't see a receiver with over 600 yards receiving last year that was a wideout. So, I mean, I couldn't tell who the number one guy was in New York last year. Okay? AJ, 800 yards. That's why I said Smeedy, because he will have number two corners on him. Kenneth, good take. I think our offense reverts back to running the ball after 3 games. I hate to say this to you, Daz. So do I. Dylan says, I think Hurts gets 38-66. Well, then you ain't going to have a lot of numbers on the wideout positions if he does that. Sills, do you think that Devonta Smith is better than CeeDee Lamb? That's a great question. If I had to draft CeeDee Lamb or Devonta Smith, who would I take? Boy, that's a great question. I'm going to say Devonta because of his discipline in the routes. Okay? And he's, I think, a little better in space. Okay? Not by a lot. Because I think CeeDee Lamb is pretty good too. Now, we're talking about 2 elite guys here, 2 really good route runners, 2 people who were educated on how to run the wideout spot and how you get open. And I think both guys are really good. But if I had to draft one, I probably would take Devonta, because I think Devonta in open space is better and more elusive in open. Like, I'll tell you this. If I was a corner, I'd rather tackle CeeDee Lamb than tackle Devonta Smith in open space. I just think I think he's elusive. I don't like his size. I think he's a little small. However, today's NFL, he can get away with that because you're not going to have these guys crippling these wideouts like you did back in the day. Targeting rules and all that stuff today. I don't think you're really going to pay the price back there like you did back in the day. And Xander says CeeDee's not the biggest dude on the planet, and that's true too. Okay? That's also true. Spike, I do think Devonta runs better routes. I think he runs more precise routes. Okay? I do. CeeDee is a little bigger. I think he's better with contested catches. That's fair. That's fair. Jump balls like that? Yeah. More physical on jump balls, probably. Devontae's better in space. A tad bit better of a route runner. A little more elusive. But I would say that's correct. See, and by the way, all the other intangibles that I talked about with Devonta, CeeDee Lamb is right there too. It's not like we're talking these canyon gaps between both players here. So, yes, those two guys are pretty close. Okay, those two guys are close. You know what's crazy about this conversation? Can I tell you what the craziest thing about this conversation is, though? A.J. Brown is 10 times better than any of these guys. But he's not going to have the production that he had in Tennessee until we figure out if the quarterback can find him. He struggled yesterday, we talked about if Devonta was on a team that had a quarterback like Joe Burrow, he's between 12 and 1,500 yards yardage. I mean, a year ago, if he has a quarterback like that. This is going to come down to the quarterback being a progression reader. Let me tell you something that's also been added here to the Eagles this year. Hey, Jeremiah, 10 times figure of speech. Agreed, okay? Terry McLaurin's outstanding, so it was more of a figure of speech, okay? The one thing that's been added now to the offense, you know, I hear everyone on our network and I hear people around the country, Jalen Hurts has a lot of weapons. The question is, can Jalen Hurts find all these weapons in traffic? Okay? Finding all these guys. Coming to the line of scrimmage, pre-snap understanding. AJ, Devonta, Dallas Goedert. Okay? Flex, figure speeds. Smile, A.J. Brown isn't going to be going up against the number one corner. He needs picks and slants. You know, I got to tell you something, Smile. I wouldn't mind lining up A.J. in the slot. And let's see what those DBs can do with him in that slot position. Rand, that catch in Denver against Sertan was impressive. Can Hurts process things quickly? Question mark. William, something that will be answered in September. Okay? Something that will be answered in September. Chris, if you're talking about Stingley from LSU, his best year was 3 years ago. My opinion, I think the last 2 years, I think he took them off. I think he played when he needed to. I don't think he really put it all in. Because 2 years ago, he was one of the best corners I had seen coming out of college in a long time. But the last 2 years at LSU, I don't know. Ford says, I'd like to see Hurts speed up everything, even his vocal cadence. He's got to feel comfortable in there. So, again, this is how I see this thing playing out with the receivers in the NFC East this year. I think Terry McLaurin's going to have a spectacular season. I think Wentz is going to put up a lot of numbers. I don't know if it's going to translate to wins. He put up a lot of numbers last year. As a matter of fact, Carson Wentz has put up a lot of numbers in his career so far. It's undeniable. He's put up a lot of good numbers. This guy's thrown for 33 touchdowns and 4,000 yards in a year. I mean, it's not like, okay. And plus, quite frankly, didn't they draft a kid too also? That's going to take some of the heat off of McLaurin as well. Hurts is still a rookie? He's not a rookie, dude. He is not a rookie. It's not still a rookie. He is far from a rookie. Bob says, Sills, explain something for me. How do you justify having the Eagles make a big run into the playoffs when you clearly have major doubts about Hurts? Same way I did when you won the Super Bowl in 2017. I had major concerns about your backup quarterback being able to pick up for Carson Wentz, and he ended up coming through. You won with a marginal quarterback who played great. You have a marginal quarterback now with a lot of great talent. And once again, I said this yesterday. I think your improvement is not so much on your offensive side. I think your improvement has been on your defensive side. That's how. I think Jalen Hurts is going to improve enough to make this team look very good this year. I do. Okay? I think there's going to be games where he's going to struggle against big-time passing football teams. If a team like Minnesota gets out to a 14-point lead against the Eagles, you're finished. If the Cardinals get out to a 14-point lead, you have no comeback capability. You've not proven it. I'm going by what I've seen, not by what I'm hoping. Okay? I think your improvement has clearly been on the defensive side. That's all. And by the way, I have never said that I don't think that Jalen is not a fine ball player. I do think he is. My question is going to be, with the limited practice time, are you going to be a progression reader enough to find Devonta Smith and to find A.J. Brown to be able to have those guys be productive? These other guys are going to be productive. Wentz has been productive. Dak has been productive. These are not elite guys. These are very good quarterbacks that put up big numbers. Okay? The numbers are going to be there, and they always have been. For everybody that they've played with. Whatever you think of Wentz, it's not the point if he's a worm or if he's soft. It's not the point. It's not the point. Your improvement, wouldn't we agree? Let me expand more on this here. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Don't forget our friends over at Morgan & Morgan, my friends. Please understand this, that the fee is free, meaning this. Our friends at Morgan & Morgan do not get paid unless you get paid. They are not going to go into a courtroom to try to sit there and make it all about themselves. That's not what they do. For the people, it's not a slogan. It is something that they believe in because they've been doing this for over 30 years, collecting over $13.5 billion for their clients. Morgan & Morgan is the biggest attorney firm in the United States, and they have an army of attorneys waiting to help you. No such thing as a fender bender, my friends. They have 800 attorneys strong in offices in Philly, New York, Florida, across the country. They're ready to do battle for you. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. And do me a favor. When you call Morgan & Morgan, you tell them Dan Sileo sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.